David, it's great to sit down with you. It's been a very busy January. What would you say your assessment is of how you started the new year?
Not good. Not good. Not been overly pleased. I think we've had a difficult January with mainly with injuries, suspensions. The AFCON didn't help either. A lot of it's self-inflicted, we get a couple of sending offs, so it didn't help us. But it's been pretty tough month, January, for us, I have to be honest. But we've also, in that, picked up a few points as well.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you look at how many points you've got, 32 in total. Better off this season than you were at this stage last season as well. So yes, you're battling, obviously, lots of external things as well. But when it comes to the football and where you're at, 32 points, happy with that so far?
Yeah, I could say to you maybe we've missed a couple more, but I think there'll be lots of teams in the league feel the same. I think the competition's very tight this year. I think there's very little between the teams depending on what day you play somebody. It could be really important if you catch a team in good form or bad form. So we're pleased, but always looking to do a bit better if you can.
Of course, and it's funny you say that the competition's tighter because over recent years the teams that have come up have usually not performed as well and they've gone down, but this season it feels very different. Anyone on their day can beat anyone, like we've seen in the Premier League over the years. Yeah, and
I think that this year more so, and even the teams at the bottom, you would expect them to have a bit of a rally. The Wolves and that we had a really tough game against them a few weeks ago. Burnley have been picking up some really good results, and so I don't think any of them are going to let themselves go in a whimper. I think they're going to fight really hard, whoever they play and whenever they play. But our position last year was very similar to where the teams at the bottom were. So for us to be in a pretty good position without being safe and without being under too much pressure, we want to try and do better and keep kicking on if we can.
Of course, and you said they might not have scored as many goals as you would have hoped, but there are some players who are definitely coming into form. I want to talk about a few individuals. Thierno Barry, I mean, everyone's talking about him. I feel like most of the footballing world were hoping he'd get that goal, and here we are now. He seems to be enjoying his football.
Yeah, he's certainly improved since when he first came in. But it's a bit like young French under-21 centre forward. It's never easy for MD to come to a new country, especially to come to the Premier League and be a centre forward, which is hardest position, and to score goals in this league. But I have to say, I need him to score more. That's what we know. We brought him here. You're young, you're relatively inexperienced at this level, but that goes right out the window. Everybody just talks about is your number 9 scoring any goals, and that's the case. And for long parts, we haven't done enough. But he got me a really good goal against Aston Villa. Scoring a goal to win a big game, I think, is really important, and he done that, and he is improving. I can see it daily. He's getting better.
How important will all the other players around him be off the pitch, but more importantly on it, to provide him with the chances to score?
Well, as a club, we have to look after him and make sure that we get him settled in and make him feel incredibly welcome, which I'm sure we have done, and we would do that with everybody. But the players play a big part as well in training. Encouragement, helping them all along. But also been, getting them to recognise this is the Premier League. You're not going to get all the time to make mistakes or get it wrong. Eventually you have to get it right, because if you don't, then this league's too important. Staying in the Premier League's hugely important.
There's one player that I feel like has certainly improved and feel like he's coming to his own now. James Garner. Looks like he's playing with freedom. What have you unlocked in him to allow him to have these performances?
Well, James has played really well, and but I think James has done a lot himself. But I just see someone who's maturing with age a little bit more. Started at United and went to Forest before he came to Everton, and he's had a few injuries and picked himself up and gone again. I think he's playing really, really well and has been playing really well. But he's just stepped up a bit more leadership about him now, a bit more authority. Happy to play against any of the top boys at the moment and show what he's all about.
These young players, do they keep you fresh? Do they keep you feeling young as well, having to keep up with them?
Yeah, it certainly does, because I'm not proud that I'm the oldest man in the Premier League. I'm quite embarrassed about that, actually. But in some ways, I've got some young staff around me, Leighton Baines and one or two others who keep me up to speed with the language of today's world. But But no, I find the young boys good, and I've always enjoyed working with them. And you know, we don't treat them any different than MD else, but obviously we want to nurture them in the right way and bring them through.
Now, one thing you did mention that you faced injuries this month. Jack Grealish is the headline everyone's talking about. We know how much of a big blow it will be for the team, but what about him? You will have got close to him as being his manager. How much of a big blow is this injury for him?
No, he's a big blow for Jack, especially because, you know, he's got himself back playing regular football, you know, consistent football, back to making assists and doing what Jack does. He's been very good for us. He's been so well liked as well by the Everton supporters as well because of his performances, and obviously he's got a big charisma about him, and you know, wherever he goes, he's well liked. So look, it's really disappointing for Jack, but you know, something we just need to move on, and Jack needs to start to get himself ready.
Two players that are back in the building, AFCON winners. You've got Idrissa Gana Gueye, also Iliman and Dye. How far off are they being Premier League ready?
Well, they should certainly be Premier League ready if they've just been playing the cup final last week. Hopefully their celebrations haven't been too severe, and we can get them back. You know, there's so many of the boys who played in the AFCON already back playing for the club sides, or you know, back at least getting back involved. So our two are very fortunate to be winners, and we need them back in our team to sort of help Everton be winners as well.
And of course, Leeds, Monday Night Football, huge game for them, but for yourselves as well. What do you expect to come up against on Monday?
An improving Leeds United side. I think Daniel Farke's done a great job. You know, he's had one or two moments where he's probably had decisions to make. He's made good decisions. He's changed the system, how they've played. I watched them quite a lot last year when they were in the Championship, and I thought they played really, really well. And they look as if they've come into the Premier League with a lot of confidence. Yeah, they'll probably think they're the wrong end of the table, but I think Leeds are making a good go at making sure that they're a Premier League side.
Now, I'm not expecting you to expose all of your secrets right now, but how do you stop the threat they possess in attack? Certainly someone that you know that was at the club as well, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, on Monday.
Well, look, I'm pleased for Dom that he's back fit and playing games, which was probably the thing which made it a bit more difficult for us to make sure that we were going to keep him or not, because just we weren't sure about his availability. But he's back in really good condition, Dom, doing what he's doing. So I'm pleased for him, but I'm not too pleased if he does it against us, that's for sure.
Well, we'll see. Good luck for Monday, David. Great.
Thanks very much. Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.